Every success story has a beginning. For some, it's a flash of genius in a crowded boardroom. For others, it's a chance meeting with an investor. For me, it's here in this tiny garage, armed with my computer, a relentless passion for innovation, and just enough grit to make it happen. Our first goal is going to be establishing a contract department, and our first contract that we've taken on is called Dandy Center. It's an embedded system type, and we have a month to complete it. We got $3,134 upfront for accepting the contract. The entire payout is $9,629. Requires quality bad. Minimum requirement done is 33%. Cost per bug is $61, and any penalty we might accrue is $4,272. We are getting through the second iteration of design right now. We're going to try to do this as best as we can, but this is going to be the first step in establishing some income for Dumpster Fire Studios. Our first team is going to be called the System Engineering Contractors. We're going to add that, and initially we will assign William to that team. And with that, we would need to assign the system engineering contractors to the project. So the initial goal with the system engineering contracts team is going to be establishing just some steady income by constantly doing contract work. If we take a look at my skill sets, we can see designing's not the best, just ordinary on creativity, and the programming skills is where he's going to be strong. Designing's strong as well, but the creativity when it comes to designing the product is the big issue that we're going to have, especially because he's silent but deadly, but super focused. With our cup of coffee on our desk, we're back to developing some software here for Dandy Center. It's 76% complete at this point. We are getting pretty close to promoting it to the QA stage and see how it's going bug-wise. I have a feeling it's going to be good enough, but the focus right now is going to be building the reputation of our company. Right now, we are a one-star business reputation. We're going to want a lot more stars to attract better employees as we get into developing our own software. As we're fixing bugs, we decided to make a phone call to one of our friends to talk about making an investment. We do deposit $30,000 into a bond. We're wanting to get the accrued interest high enough in our bonds to pay for our day-to-day bills, just for myself before we had any more employees. And as it's time to take a lunch break, we're gonna go ahead and finish this contract and take a look at the results here. We have Dandy Center, an embedded system. Net is $12,763. It is fulfilled, delivered 2 days early. The quality assessment was outstanding. You can see we did get a little bit into that second star there. No bugs were found, so we didn't get any penalties there. Pretty good start with a day and a half left in the month. Let's go ahead and open up the contract work and get this other embedded system here. That's $12,000 as well. The company is Stellar Beat Delights. But getting to know the rest of the businesses out here, let's sort by worth. And Brainprite is a company that I was taking a look at. They are a computer operating systems. If we look at their products, they have the Synergy Flash X that was released in 1977. Currently has 800,000 active users. They also have 660,000 active users on Cortex OS 2 that was released in 1973. This company is making a lot of money. They are the top dog, it seems, when it comes to computer operating systems. And that's one of the dreams that I have, is developing enough software to eventually create our own operating system and potentially creating our own computers as well. But taking a look at the project design of operating systems, we'd have a system, an interface, we'd have audio, 3D rendering, and network. We don't have the ability to create all of those, and our tech levels, they're super low and a little bit behind the times. We'll slowly get into that and most likely start off with a lot of Office software just to get our feet wet. But that's in the future. Right now, we need to focus on Stellar Beat Details embedded system that we're working on. Hopefully bring in another $12,000 in our first month in business. And it's 2 o'clock on the third day of January, and we have completed another contract, bringing in another $12,000. Outstanding quality again. No bugs found, and we're almost halfway up the second star at this point. Let's go ahead and look at the available contracts to us now. Well, first, let's jump into the finances. We have $50,000 in the bond right now. Another $20,000 in the bank. I think I'm going to feel confident throwing in $10,000 of that. So now it's $60,000. And taking a look at contract work, there are no more system ones, but we do have this logistics application for Crown and Eat. a command line tool, it looks like we're adding to it. And that'll be around $11,000, and it should be fine. We can develop systems at any level. Let's go ahead and accept that work. And it looks like we have 3 days to complete that, so all is going well. And we're gonna take a look at our January finances. We paid $400 in HR for our staffing, $5,599 for maintenance. Most of that was buying the new equipment, but we did have $1,300 in bills, but contracts brought in $28,000 in our first month. And taking a look at our investments, it did bring in $99. So let's pull up the finance tab as well. And really what we want to look at is the staff and the bills combined. Construction's going to be based on what we need. So we're looking at about $1,700 a month that we want this interest to be. We got to get that a lot higher, but we do feel confident with the money we're bringing in on contracts. So there'll be some give and take on what we invest in versus when we decide to add employees. And we're bored. It's time to finish another contract. Let's take a look at the outcome of this one as well. Outstanding, delivered a day early, no bugs found again. 1.5-star business reputation. Let's see what kind of contracts we have available to us now. Getting a few more options for some good cost here, good money here. We got $12,000 for an embedded system, another clock that we're gonna make for Corky Finance conglomerate. Let's go ahead and accept that one. And I think I want to try to step it up and see if we can multitask and get 2 of these done in 3 days. We're gonna take a look at this one by McExtra Fudge, another clock, only 20%. That they're expecting horrible, but we're gonna try to over deliver on that. Let's go ahead and see how we can execute on this one. You can see our effectiveness is being affected apparently due to the super focus. Works fast on one task but fails at multitasking. Feeling overwhelmed, William is debating on bringing in more help. Looking at our first group of employees, we're looking for a systems designer type that has a pretty good amount of creativity. We can see here our first one here is Miss Tate. Miss Tate is 47 years old, is demanding a $8,900 a month salary. Skills are 3-star. It looks like we have a good amount on systems and 2D for design and a major focus on audio tools and antiviruses. And then we have Miss Vincent here, 45 years old, about the same salary. Creativity is potentially not as high, really focused on operating system and game. It's really good at operating systems. This is the one we're probably gonna lean towards. Works at a slow pace, but is a friend maker, would be pretty compatible with the existing team. But then there's Colin Dennis, who is, all the way up to potentially 100 in creativity on antivirus and game. Could be a good fit here. That 100% is what I'm kind of leaning towards. And we're gonna go with the younger one. Oh, she's a flirt though, and she's dramatic. Stubborn and pessimism. I think I'd rather go with the flirt than the pessimist. We're gonna go ahead and hire Susanna McKinney. Well, William just got the bad news that Susanna did turn down the job, so he is plugging away at these projects himself, hoping to get them done in the next 2 days. And looking at the finances over February, we brought in less money because of this aggressive approach that we went to. It took us a little bit longer to develop the software that we're working on, but we did bring in $124 in interest, so that is increasing. But you can see $1,100 for bills and hiring. We did have that hiring fee, but looks like we're all done with the bugs, so let's go ahead and finish these and bring in a good amount of money to start the month of March. Well, pretty much through the middle. Let's take a look at these here. The McExtra Fudge one was outstanding as well. Got us not quite an increase in reputation, but both of these were outstanding. No bugs found still, have a pretty good track record. Unfortunately, we're really gonna have to increase that reputation to get quality employees in, and that is gonna be our focus. But let's go ahead and grab one more and see if hopefully we can finish Corky Firm's clock by the end of March and bring in even more money. And we were able to successfully complete Corky Firm's software 2 days early, outstanding again. Our money is at $33,000. Our financial advisor is on the line. We are gonna drop in, let's do $25,000 right now. That gets our investment up to $100,000. Let's see how we're doing among all the companies. Are we getting close to catching Wintish Digital? Now they're worth 12 million. We got a ways to go. Let's look at the product calendar too. The event calendar shows that in the month of May, we have a couple games coming out. We have an RPG game coming out, Eclipse Town, and we have a simulation game called Mafia Manager. In June, Desk Hub Premium 6 is coming out in Office software. And then we jump all the way to October, where there is a EQ Ultimate 3 coming out, an audio tool. Finalscape Pro 4, a 2D editor coming out in November. And then there's a good amount in December. It looks like that's a hot month for a console system. Pluto Evolved 6. The Horseville in Heaven 3 game, the simulation game, comes out. There's also the Golf Slam, a sports game, and Z-Cube 2, a console operating system. The video games world is improving in 1980. You can also see that the room's getting a little messy. We're gonna hire cleaning, maintenance, and call IT just to make sure everything is taken care of. And we're gonna go ahead and take a look at contract work again. Logistics application, we're gonna do another command line for Target Tech. And we are super close to a 2-star reputation to get back to that hiring process. And looking at our recap of the month of March, we did end up bringing in $33,000. It was our best month, $166 in interest. So, you know, maybe that approach might take a little bit longer, but I think it's a good idea. We do see we're in the green every month. We had 22,000 net in January, 6,000 in February, and 33,000 in March. Things are looking good. Coffee, $20, electricity, $127, rent was $960. And water was 93 cents. So maybe we want to get this up to cover rent before we move on to a bigger building, and we'll have these contracts cover our employee costs that we eventually get. Now, I'm hoping that having outstanding on all these is due to the amount of iterations we're doing in design. I've been doing a little bit of the 4th iteration and completing code around 50%, depending on how much time we have, and trying to just bust these out. Let's go ahead and do that again. And he's pretty satisfied that there's no bugs. So another outstanding project delivered to Target Tech at this point. We can drop a little bit more money into our bonds. And I think we will try to get one more contract done that should bump us up to that 2-star reputation. One bug fixed on this one, another outstanding project. Still not quite 2 stars, so we'll go ahead and grab another one. Just kind of rinse and repeat, and once we hit that 2-star, I'll let you know. We've officially hit 2 stars. It's time to do the hiring process one more time. Candy Campbell, 47 years old. Looks like the focus is, the creativity is not great. Focus is on antivirus. Then we have Mr. Black here, who is an audio tool expert. Creativity in the middle there. Randall Franklin is up to a 94 potentially. 2D editor, not great on operating systems. Bernardo Cohen is a audio tool expert, and creativity is pretty high. I just, what's the best fit here? 2D editor is probably the best fit. I don't see anything really focusing on operating systems. We have sunshine, super focused, and under the weather. It does rain a little bit, but I think we will end up 2-star employee. So systems design is at a 3. That's what we've been really focusing on. I think we are going to go with Mr. Franklin. But now it's saying we have to raise our reputation up to at least 3 stars to hire this employee. Let's see if these other ones are less picky. Oh, we'll try Bernardo here. You have limited funds to sustain your company if you hire. Are you sure you want to? Yeah, I do. I do want to do that. We're going to have Bernardo start in May. Feeling pretty confident having an employee under our belt here. Bernardo's doing a good job designing some software for us while we do the same. Picking up steam. 2 more contracts have been fulfilled. The Horizon Alliance got their embedded system, and the Chip Beds got their logistics application. Money's sitting at $22,000 right now. We are going to purchase something for our employee. We need to have something to give them food. We look into the kitchen. We have a food packer. Takes food from cooks and distributes it to canteens using conveyor belts. So it looks like some automation we could add. We have a stove that we can add. We could also add a fridge as well. We could add a vending machine. Could go right here. That could be a way to provide food. Or we could do a mini fridge, which could sit on Bernard's desk. But I think what we're gonna do is get out of that. Let's grab all of this group right here, and we're gonna move that, if it lets us. We'll go right there, and then we'll grab another one facing that way, and we'll put a little fridge on it. We'll rotate it so the door is facing this way, and that should take care of any complaints that the employees have. the one employee that we have, as I'm starving. Take a look at stubborn pessimist Bernardo. He's hungry. His effectiveness is way down because of how hungry he is, but hopefully that fridge will take care of that. Let's look at the incoming contract work here. Now we're opening up to new things. We have embedded systems here. We don't have any assemblies to do that, assembly lines, but $280,000 would be nice. As a 2-star company, we are going to see these more pricey contracts, but they're going to want mediocre quality instead of poor. So that is going to be the trade-off there. And sorting these by the most pricey one, we're going to start with the embedded system that brings in $28,000. It recommends 2 designers. I am going to assign Bernardo as the lead, and we're going to take that work. The company is in debt. You'll have until, wow, we'll have till July to get out of debt. I think we'll be fine. I think we will be fine. But let's go ahead and take a look at why. Looking at our finances, HR hiring, yeah, our salaries are at $9,000, and we're bringing in plenty. We still had a net profit of $48,000 in the quarter so far. If we look at monthly, we brought in $14,000, but we put a bunch of money in our investment. That's why we're negative. We could just pull some out before we go bankrupt. I think we'll be okay. As you can see above here, it says $160,000 available in bonds, and we have $10 million available to us in loans, but we won't be getting into any loans. With only 1 day left, we got to get this into development. Let's go ahead and just switch to that now. And we have some artwork to do, so that's going to struggle a little bit, but code should be fine. We'll have to pay attention a little bit more to that to make sure it fits our team. We might want to hire an artist soon. Boy, it's due today. We're still finding bugs. We found 25 bugs already. Plugging away. We're going to get as many as we can done. 29 bugs. We're going to go, gosh, until they go home, and we'll send it at that point, or until they get bored. And finishing it with 42 bugs. Let's see. Let's pause that. The creativity of Bernardo has been narrowed down to 52 to 91. Pretty nice. The contract was fulfilled. Outstanding quality again. So we still have a great record. We're climbing up to that 3rd star. We're going to go ahead and make it the next day and then look at contracts though, so we don't lose any time. Months are 1 here. An embedded system is going to need a 2D artist. Looks like all of them will, that are paying well. Level 1 2D artists. Let's look at our employees again. And we have 3-star in 2D artists, so I think we're confident in doing that again. We'll go ahead and do lead designer. The narrowed in Bernardo. It would be nice to do an audio tool, because I think that would definitely help out, but let's go ahead and accept that work. And I think at some point soon, we're going to want to spend some of our money on a server. But I think first I want to jump into build mode here and potentially, let's add this rug, like right, let's see. I know there's a way to do halves. V? Yeah, let's put it right there. And I want to see if that helps with some of this dirt, but we are going to hire some cleaners. And then financially here, let's drop another 20 grand into our deposits and take a look at finances and see how that's coming in. Last month it was 265, so it's a slow crawl there, but we'll probably get through this whole year and make some decisions based off of how we know money's coming in. And taking a pause here, we have cleared our debt because we had money in our account when the month ended. Let's take a look at the finances now. I think we're going to focus on them quarterly. It makes a lot more sense running a business than doing month to month, but 60,000 in the first quarter, 65,000 in income in the second quarter, even with the 18,000 added for salaries of the employees. Our $746 of interest definitely helped out. I think we're going to adjust that though. We're not going to focus on completely relying on interest before we make some upgrades. As we can see, we're becoming pretty profitable. As we look at the overall companies, we were still at the bottom, but it's showing that our worth is $175,000 because of how much we have in bonds right now. Wish Tish Digital is still at 12 million, but I think Firo Digital did increase a good amount. Let's see if they had something released recently. They didn't, but it's all good. And taxes to pay, 14,314. It's getting up there. We'll have to keep that in mind when it comes time to pay taxes. And with the office empty as we've just started the month of July, we're going to leave it here. Thanks for hanging out. I'm Socksway Up. I will catch you on the next episode.